Hello, this is Bill Floyd from Labor Union TV. How are you today? This is a new on the Fairness Doctrine. This is the second part. Okay, you know, all the lies on television, the union newspapers are great. This is a great newspaper. This is the International Longshoremen and Warehouse Union, ILWU. This is their newspaper. It's great. But this is a great counter to all the TV lies, okay? Okay. Second Fairness Doctrine. Okay. Now, we left off during the Vietnam War. And the Vietnam War, Fairness Doctrine did not stop the Vietnam War, nor was there ever a debate on the Vietnam War that I can remember. There may have been one on KCT, public television, but not on main free TV, advertising, ABC, CBS, NBC. Their lies were every night, we're winning, we're winning. All those dead bodies there are communists that we killed, you know, children, little 5-year-old children and stuff. So they all lied about that. Okay, so Newsreel Films came out and distributed anti-war films to, well, we estimate at one time 6 million students and college students and young people. So there was a counterculture, the Independent News Service, Jeff Shear, and then there was the newspapers, Village Voice, Los Angeles Weekly is still around. But they were counterculture, counter-Vietnam lies. Okay, so the war ended and the Republicans fronted an actor from Hollywood. You all know who Ronnie Reagan is. And Ronald Reagan repealed the Fairness Doctrine in 1987. After 38 years. It hadn't stopped the Korea War, didn't stop the Vietnam War, but it was a good principle. The principle is the people own the airwaves, and we don't want propaganda, one-sided propaganda funneled at us. Okay. Now after Ronald Reagan, there's another Republican that won, named of Bill Clinton, although he used the Democratic nomenclature like they do every other election. So Bill Clinton, besides the Glass-Steagall Act, which he repealed, which gave the banks tremendous power of our savings and checking accounts, they can use those when they get in trouble. They siphon off our savings and loan accounts. Okay. The Telecommunications Act allowed for the monopolization of media, just what we hated. Instead of having local news, now we have national conglomerates deciding on what you should hear every night. Leading the monopoly media, besides Comcast, Fox, is Sinclair. Sinclair owns 173 TV stations in the South and in the Midwest, where Hillary lost the election. And every night they said, Trump is our man, Trump is our man, Trump is doing this, Trump is doing that, every night. So that's what I mean by propaganda. They just repeat the same memes over and over again. The
largest owner of local stations in the country, Sinclair Broadcasting, is planning a merger that would make them even bigger. It is a move that is raising concerns because of Sinclair's policy of combining news with partisan political opinion. William Brangham has the story.
A train derailment in Tennessee.
Some routine road maintenance has led to a squabble.
We have some breaking news to tell you about. This is out of Bethesda tonight.
Night after night, the country's largest owner of local TV stations, the Sinclair Broadcast Group, reaches over a third of homes across the nation.
Compromise plan for the controversial Kenesha Sin.
Most of us think of local news as just that, local. Stations run local stories produced and reported by local people. But it's hoping to get bigger still. If a proposed $4 billion merger with Tribune Media goes forward, Sinclair would now reach 3 out of 4 American households. Television remains the main source of news for many Americans. In 2016, 46% of adults said they got their news from local TV stations, and it's information they trust. 41% of registered voters said they trust local news to tell the truth, while just 27% trust national news.
The FBI have a personal vendetta in pursuing the Russia investigation of President Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn.
Did the FBI have a
personal vendetta
in pursuing the Russia investigation of
President Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn?
This blurring of news and opinion is one criticism of the company.
The memes they used against Hillary were lock her up and build that wall. Now, you've heard those expressions, but those were memes that got into the back brain of the right-wing Republicans, and they were steered toward Trump. Okay. Bill Clinton's Telecommunication Act also allowed for Clear Channel to buy up 1,500 radio stations and transform those local radio stations from music, well, rock and roll, that's music, rock and roll, to shock jock radio, right-wing radio. You drive across the country, you get nothing but right-wing radio. That's Clear Channel. So like Sinclair, they have a right-wing spin, and that's why they're in business. They're not really in business like other corporations, they make money. They're in business to propagandize their point of view. Now, Sinclair wants to buy the Tribune media empire. The difference is the Tribune is in the big cities: Chicago, San Francisco. Los Angeles is 15 million people. And if Sinclair is allowed to buy Tribune, it'll be just like Pravda TV, except it'll be right-wing radio TV, TV. Okay, when the Iraq War started, remember the weapons of mass destruction? Well, MSNBC paraded 90% U.S. retired generals who were being paid by the weapons manufacturers to present the following case. Saddam has weapons of mass destruction. Saddam has weapons of mass destruction. Saddam has, and then Condoleezza used the one of, we don't want to see a nuclear cloud, do we? Anyway, the whole idea was that Saddam could drop a bomb, which he couldn't. They made up this small little country dictator into a Hitler. That's what the right-wing media did, okay? Now, to the counter, as I said before, the Vietnam War developed its own counterculture in the newsreel films and independent news service, in the newspapers, and radio, and radio. The counterculture to the Iraq War has been the Young Turks, who have been exemplary. They're heroes. The Young Turks started 15, 20 years ago. The Young Turks, they have TYT Entertainment, TYT Nation, TYT Politics, and TYT News, and about 5 or 10 other channel shows. They have a huge, huge presence now. Millions and millions of young people watch the Young Turks. Cenk Uygur is the leader of it. And there's another great one, which is the Jimmy Dore Show. He enjoys hundreds of thousands of viewers also. The Jimmy Dore Show. D-O-R-E, it's spelled. Jimmy Dore also has a radio show on KPFK in Los Angeles, kpfk.org. Radio, Jimmy Dore Show. And then our little station, Labor Union TV, we're trying to present alternative news also. But these are the counterspins to the monopolization of the networks and the cable. Now, another great outfit today is Media Matters. Media Matters. I think it's MediaMatters.org. There's also been around forever criticizing the mass media. Fair.org, F-A-I-R, fair.org, and their show on radio called Counterspin, which is absolutely great. Okay. The newspapers are the news sites, websites are truthout.org and truthdig.org. Okay. The basic theme of all this is the airwaves are a public resource and they belong to the people. The airwaves belong to the people. The networks and the money corporations buy networks so they can propagandize their point of view to us. And that's why we set up the Federal Communications Commission in Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The FCC is to regulate and make sure that we don't get propagandas Goebbels Nazi style, which we are getting right now. That's why people are talking about Nazi. It's because we're getting one point of view over Sinclair, Comcast, and Fox. And so we need a new fairness doctrine. I hope the blue wave of Democrats will bring that back. But we need to send letters to the FCC to deny the purchase by Sinclair of the Tribune media. Tribune media, as I say, is San Francisco, Chicago, and Los Angeles. These are major media creating markets. And we don't want them to come under one corporate control. I'm going to show you a couple of videos about Sinclair so you'll get a better idea of how dangerous they are. Okay, this is the Fairness Doctrine, Part 2. Thank you for watching. This is Bill Floyd for Labor Union TV. Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
The El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about troubling the irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.